Yo, what's going on, y'all? I just want to get on here and tell y'all a little bit about this dream I had last night with Kanye West, P Diddy. I normally don't have dreams like this, so this was it's kind of weird, and to be honest, and like, I know guys like, Mac Praise, they have these dreams all the time, and I'm not saying I'm not that type of person. I don't know if God will give me dreams like that, but I did have a dream like that, and I just kind of wanted to get on here and just let y'all know. Before I let y'all know the dream, I just kind of want to tell y'all some backstory so y'all kind of know like why I maybe think God possibly let me have this dream. Here we go. So growing up, I was well, me and my two sisters, we grew up in a Christian household, and we really didn't they didn't let us listen to like what was called secular music, right? They didn't let us listen to it. They didn't think it was good. And so growing up, we just never did until when we got around other kids, then we started to kind of see like, okay, well, this might not be so normal that we just listen to gospel music all the time, but it just was what it was, right? So fast forward to when I get to college, I went through a phase in my college years where I kind of started to rebel against some of the things that I had been taught growing up, and so one of those things being music. So I started kind of getting a little bit more open to listening to different types of music. Well, how it started was I ended up finding this one rapper named Lupe Fiasco, and he was I thought he was the dopest rapper. He was, super skilled, and he didn't curse, which I just loved because, growing up, how I grew up, I was like, man, I can actually listen to somebody that's really good that, doesn't curse. That's pretty cool, right? So then through him, I ended up finding about Kanye. And the first song I heard from Kanye was Through the Wire. And, if y'all are Kanye fans, y'all know Through the Wire. And it's just something about that song. That song was, even back then, that song was just soulful. It was like soulful rap, really. It was really like you could feel what he was saying. And it kind of gave you a feeling of just like, man, like it just hit you. And so after that, I started doing my research into Kanye a little bit, and I ended up picking up Late Registration. This was in 2008, and I'll never forget it. I picked up Late Registration 2008, and I think Late Registration came out in 2008. So that was, at that point, that was his latest album. And so I would listen to Late Registration, and I listened to the version with the cursing and all that. But I loved it. I love Late Registration, and so I remember I was like, dang, I wish he had more music. And then I did some more research on him, and I found out like, I remember because I was like, Through the Wire wasn't on here or something like that, and I was like, where is that one at? And then so I ended up finding out he had one before Late Registration that was called College Dropout. So I went to the store, got that, listened to that, and I loved College Dropout, man. Mr. West, I loved it. I just remember I loved Kanye. At that moment, he had my heart, man. I loved the guy. And so anyway, so I wanted to kind of talk about that just so y'all kind of know where I'm coming from, and why I think maybe God gave it to me. I think he, because of like how, and so let me say this. When Kanye decided to come over to the Christian world and start trying to do the Christian music and stuff, that was big for me too. I felt like that was kind of like when I first discovered Kanye. I'm like, man, he's doing the Christian music. He on on Jesus' side, all the way. He doing it. And so I'm like, even now, I can't wait for Donda, even though I'm a little bit concerned, but I can't wait for it. And I mean, Sunday service was dope. Jesus is King. I mean, all that was fire. It's just how he is as an artist. He's a really talented artist, and we know that. So anyway, that's kind of how I came to know Kanye. and the spot that he has in my heart, I just kind of always liked him, you know. And even though when he started going off into like Yeezus and Twisted Fantasy, which I never listened to, I think I listened to Yeezus a little of it, but I couldn't like get through it. And same with Twisted Fantasy, I think I might have heard a few songs, but I just could not listen to it. It just felt too it felt kind of evil to me, you know. So I just couldn't get through it. But you know, 808s and Heartbreak, when he started going down that road, I stopped listening to him, but I still always kind of had a soft spot in my heart for him. So that's why I'm saying when he transferred over to Christian, it was crazy. So anyway, let's get into the dream. So I had this dream about Kanye last night, and I can still remember it, and it was real to me. So I think whenever you have dreams like that, that's really God trying to say something to you, you know, or even could be the enemy trying to say something to you. But I think it's of significance when you have a dream like that and it was real, and you can wake up and still remember it. I think that it means something. So anyway, so the dream was this. We was in this building. It was like a white building, like kind of like an all white building. For some reason, my car was in the building, and there were lots of people in the building. And so what ended up happening was Kanye was in the building, and he played a song. And I want to say he played it from my car, but he played a song, and the song was just coming out of my car. But the song had like cursing and stuff in it, like real. It was like he kind of was like, it was almost like he had made the song, and it was just like he was like the old Kanye. It was just a regular old Kanye song. It was good, I think, but it was just, you know, it was old Kanye. He was rapping, cursing, and all that. So all of a sudden, I'm kind of stepping out the car, like I'm out the car or whatever, and then I see Kanye kind of walking back my way, walking past me a little bit. But then he saw me, and when he looked at me, he kind of had like this shameful look, like and I say that because from the dream I gathered he knew who I was, you know. He knew who I was, and he knew like what I represented, and he felt kind of shameful in that moment. And he asked me, he's like, let me go see you. He was kind of mumbling underneath his breath, and I knew he was talking to me. And so I looked at her, and I was like, man, what? And then I walked up to him, and I was like, huh? And he was like, let me see what music you got. He was like, let me hear the music you got. And I told him, I was like, man, I left my laptop at the crib, right? Well, so y'all don't know, I used to do music. I still do, but I just haven't done it in a while. But anyway, he knew that I did music. He wanted to hear, and I told him I left my laptop at the crib, so I didn't have no music. And he was like, he didn't take that for an answer. He was like, what do you mean? He's like, yo, and I was like, well, hold on, let me go see. And so I went back to my car, I guess, to try to come up with some kind of idea to see. I'm like, this Kanye West, he asking me to hear music, and I ain't got no music, you know. So yeah, so anyway, I went back to the car to try to see if I can get some music or whatever. And next thing I heard was, you know, a loud song being played. And I imagine it must have been played over like a speaker system or something. I don't know, but it was like it was a gospel song, a Christian gospel song, almost kind of like it was like a Sunday service song, right? And so I got out the car, and I was like, oh man, I was like, that's dope, you know. I'm like, I was happy because I'm like, man, Kanye playing this gospel song, you know, like, you know, to hear Kanye West playing a gospel song is kind of crazy, but it was cool. It was, and I was like, man, this is dope. And so next thing I know, I seen him, he was on stage. It was a stage. And so when they was playing the gospel song, he was on stage. Then the next thing that happened was P Diddy was also on the other side of the stage. And so he walked over to P Diddy's side, and then when he walked over there, they started playing like what people will call worldly song, or like, you know, secular song. It was like an old song though. It was not like a new song. It was like an old hit record, and it was like it was a female's hit record, and they played it, and everybody was going crazy because it's an old hit. It's a hit, hit record. So then he played that, and then once he stopped that, then he played. Then Kanye, I think he kind of walked back over to the other side, and they did a gospel song, and people was it was a hit gospel song, and people was going crazy on that. Then he went back over to P Diddy, and they played another like a worldly song, and people went crazy. These are all hits, by the way, so people were just going crazy. And then all of a sudden, I just kind of got tired, and I don't know where I came in on this, but I kind of got tired of that, and so I just somehow I made them play a song, and the song I made them play was Kirk Franklin's More Than I Can Bear. And if y'all don't know that song, just go look it up. But it was called More Than I Can Bear. And after I played that song, it was a real touching song, and they got people in there were crying, and it was just really touching people. And I don't know, in the moment I didn't know why I chose that song, and in the dream I didn't know why I chose the song, but I chose that song, and then they played it, and like I said, people were kind of getting emotional and stuff like that. So and then that was the end. That was kind of the end of that dream. I didn't get to see Kanye's reaction to that song because we were far away from each. He was like further, he was on the stage farther away from me, so I couldn't see his reaction, but I felt like it was emotional, it was emotional. So that was that song. I had a little side part to the dream, and I don't know what this part meant, but it was like Kanye was in a music video, and he was rapping, and he was talking about the kingdom, right? And so the next thing you know, I saw that the kingdom was actually a building that he was building. He was building this building, and it was called the kingdom. And it was cool though. I don't know what it meant. This part, I don't know what it means or anything like that. I don't have no type of, I don't know what it means. Anyway, but I thought it was interesting. But back to the other part of the dream, that was I really believe, y'all, that we need to pray for Kanye, because especially those of us that are Christian, and that Kanye has a spot in our hearts, that God has given us this, has drawn us to Kanye in a way. I think we need to pray for him, because I think from my dream, I truly believe that was God kind of showing me, for whatever reason, where Kanye may be right now, and it's that Kanye may be kind of going back and forth right now between the gospel and the old stuff that he did, and so, and I think he knows that it's not right. I think he knows what he should be doing, but when he looked at me, he was kind of shameful. That told me that he kind of knew it wasn't cool, but at the same time it kind of was what it was, so so yeah, I think that's the main thing to it, is that and then P Diddy was kind of like a bad influence to him. Now I don't really know. I don't have any affections towards P Diddy in that way, but the way I do with Kanye. But he was there. P Diddy was there, and he was the influence that was kind of getting Kanye to they was playing those worldly songs together, and I think Kanye may have some friends like P Diddy, and that may be kind of influencing him in the wrong way, trying to get him to do the old stuff, and so I think he's struggling right now, y'all. So y'all just pray for him. Yeah, just pray for him. So I had to get on here and let y'all know this, and that's it. I'm not gonna prolong the video no more. Yeah, that's it. So thank y'all for listening, and I'll see y'all on the next one.